Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, and many more are the most iconic horror characters of all time. Another addition to this list is the Grabber. The Grabber is the protagonist of the movie Black Phone, directed by Scott Derrickson. Scott Derrickson has given us several horror flicks like Sinister. Those of us who are aware of his works kind of knows what to expect. His movies are smart, have amazing storylines and directions, and most importantly, even though they have limited jump scares, the ones that are there definitely send chills down your spine. The Grabber is all of these things. As far as the story is concerned, the premise is quite simple on the surface. It revolves around the Grabber, who is a serial child abductor. But the way it's been delivered and the creativity is what makes it so much better. Just imagine you are in this raggedy room with nothing but a single bed and a disconnected telephone. And all of a sudden, against all possibilities, this disconnected phone starts ringing. Well, there's more to the story, because once you pick up the phone, you find out that the previous victims of the Grabber on the other side who will help you in escaping from him. The Black Phone is based on Joe Hill's 2004 short story, The Black Phone. However, there's a major difference between the book and the adaptation, because in the short story, the Grabber was a clown. In the movie, the Grabber is a magician that clearly gives off vibes that should be enough to make you avoid him at all costs. The team was happy with this change, and we have Hill to thank for it because the suggestion of this change was made to him by Cargill. As Cargill has said in an interview that after Hill made the recommendation, we said, "Yeah, we're fine with changing it from a clown. We're not married to the clown aspect, but what do we replace it with?" Even though we can all agree that they made the right choice by changing the Grabber's occupation, the question still comes to mind: why was this change necessary? Or better yet, what were the inspirations behind the change which led to the creepy mask with devil-like horns? Well, according to the writers, there were several things that have inspired the way the Grabber turned out, especially that mask. So let's dive in and explore each one of them. Pennywise. The name Pennywise does not need any introduction because we are sure that he has instilled a fear in our hearts of clowns, even if it was not there before. Pennywise's huge gain in popularity definitely had a major influence on the decision to change the Grabber's occupation. Hill even said, flash forward to now, and directors Scott Derrickson and Cargill were talking about making the film. And one of the things we all talked about was what we are going to do about this aspect of it. Because It Chapter 1 just came out, and America only has so much space in its heart for evil clowns. And so, we hit upon him being a part-time magician instead. This concern was genuine, and we are pretty sure that if the Grabber was still a clown, he would not have enjoyed the same success as now. But with that decision, the writers were on the path of creating a character with the iconic mask. Hill's obsession. Hill was fascinated with the renowned magicians of the 1920s to 40s, such as Howard Thurston and Dante the Magician. He was really impressed with how they incorporated evil images in their acts, and also played both the roles of the treacherous demon and the hero who defeated the evil. You can probably already tell where the story is headed. Hill even said in an interview that we looked to the history of magicians fighting devils. So that was a whole thing in the 1920s, 1930s stage magic, was the magician himself would reappear as a devil and do some sinister sorcery, and then he'd slip the curtain and come back out with his mask off and do heroic magic, and that was a whole thing. Hill wanted to follow the same basic idea and implement it on the Grabber. Not only Hill, but even Cargill was also behind this idea, because when Hill pitched this idea to Cargill by saying that, well, I've always been obsessed with these 30s to 40s magicians who would do a magician act that was half magician and then half devil, and they would go back and forth between these characters. Cargill loved this idea and replied by saying, well, that's rad, let's do that. Hill was right, because this ended up creating a dynamic that we can appreciate seeing on our screens, and the reason behind the mask. John Wayne Gacy. A real-life serial killer, John Wayne Gacy had a major influence on Joe Hill's inspiration to change the Grabber's occupation from clown to magician. Gacy was an American serial killer who raped, tormented, and killed young boys. He He has been known to kill 33 young men and boys during the 6 years he was active between 1972 and 1978. Gacy found his targets by performing as Pogo the Clown or Patches the Clown at different children's hospitals and charitable events. Joe Hill even said that Gacy was a major reason behind why the Grabber was a clown in the original story. As Hill said, "I was thinking about a certain kind of child killer, and the child killer that came to mind was John Wayne Gacy, who was in fact a part-time clown. And so that is what I kind of modeled the serial killer on in the story." All this, coupled with it being popular with the public, made Hill change the Grabber's occupation, because in his eyes, the clown look would be viewed as a ripoff. That is something that no one wanted to happen. Who exactly added the mask? We've slowly seen how the various decisions and inspiration set up the Grabber to have those creepy masks. But there was one person in particular that made it happen. The masks were added by Scott Derrickson, as he has said in an interview. "I had added the masks. There were no masks in Joe's story because I felt that was going to add extra complexity to how he likes to present himself. There's something about the Grabber's theatricality as a performer, as a magician, as a guy who has to wear a mask, that is so unnerving and fascinating at the same time." So the entire magician occupation change combined with the whole idea of the devil is essentially what led the mask being added. Well, thank God that Derrickson decided to add these masks, because they are absolutely terrifying and add so much substance to the Grabber's character, and we love them for that. And with that, it's a wrap. We hope that you liked this video, and if you did, then make sure to give us a thumbs up on this video. Don't forget to let us know in the comments about the Grabber and whether it was better than Scott Derrickson's Sinister. Also, make sure to subscribe and turn on the post notifications so that you are the first to know when we upload a video.